You're listening to the Teach Better Talk podcast featuring expert educators eager to share progressive tactics to reach more students. Teach Better Talk is created by teachers and fueled by passion. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 77 of Teach Better Talk. My name is Ray Hewart, and as always, I'm with the astonishing Jeff Gargas.
Astonishing.
Well, Jeff, I'm not sure that I quite feel that you're astonishing, but we just recorded an episode recently with the amazing Bradford Hubbard, and he thinks you are quite astonishing.
Well, thanks, Brad. That was very, very kind of you.
I think he was just trying to butter you up because we recorded a Teach Better Talk podcast with him.
Maybe. That was a great episode, though. That's episode 75.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Killer episode. If you haven't listened to that, that's a great one.
And I think it's so sweet that all these listeners are taking in the astonishing value that you bring and then submitting words to me to celebrate how astonishing you are.
Yeah, so keep those good words coming. Nice words are preferred for sure. So, and then we'll give you a shout out. What's Brad's? What's his Twitter handle?
He is Hubbard Bradford.
A big shout out to Brad, or just go to the site and find episode 75 and listen to listen to his episode. And all of it's in there too. So that's good stuff.
Well, and if the listeners want to send me a mean word or a cruel word with the nice word, I'll use the nice one, but then you and I will have this moment together where we know how sarcastic and disrespectful Jeff really is.
Wow, you're really mean today.
No, I'm not. I just want the listeners to know that I see that sometimes you throw me under the bus. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like right now I'm under the bus. Like I'm just getting beat up.
You can not even pretend that you're in a bad mood right now after this episode we just recorded, because this was the most oozing positivity podcast we have ever recorded in the history of Teach Better Talk.
Boy, wow, you're really putting a lot on there. Yeah, she's just a ball of positive funness. Is that a thing? But I think it's a thing now.
It's a thing.
This is a great episode. So before we go too far into that, one thing that she brought up, that Kim brought up, was that she's just started on her summer break, and that she was super excited about, learning, already starting to prepare and stuff for next year. She touched on we're doing that super cool free PD series in our Facebook group and stuff, and so she started talking about like that, and we talked about all these educators who are just already looking for ways to continue learning, even though they're just getting onto summer break and stuff. So I was wondering, like, one of the ways I know a lot of educators do, and a lot of ways that I learn and yourself and Chad and Tiffany and stuff, is through books. And obviously just gathering as many of these amazing books out. There's been so many really awesome books that have come out recently, and honestly that are just that have been out for a while. I was going to ask you if maybe you could throw out some of your personal recommendations for great books.
So Jeff, is it I can't even talk. Is it okay? And it better be okay. Can we start with some classics and then move into some new and upcoming ones that I've read recently?
Yeah, give us your classics first.
Okay, there are so many teachers out there that know of these classics but haven't actually read them. And if you've not actually taken the time to sit down and read page by page these books, you're missing out on a lot of really rich content. So I'm going to start super easy with Teach Like a Pirate. It's a classic. So many teachers have that in their library or share it with their friends. Teach Like a Pirate is a really, really good one to start with.
Who wrote that one?
Dave Burgess. It's a really easy read, and I don't mean for that to be like a negative. It's the perfect book to sit down. You don't need a pen and paper next to you, and just soak in the tips that really build up to a great educator. It's a really good read. Can I also shout out Kids Deserve It? Because again, it's a really common, well-known one. It's a really common hashtag on Twitter, but there's so many educators that reference the Kids Deserve It hashtag, but haven't taken the time to read the book. And Adam Welcome and Tana Sloaney did a great job in really focusing on reaching students in that book. It's an easy read. Again, a really good one to sit on the couch over the summer and enjoy.
Awesome.
You want me to keep going with some good ones?
Yeah, you
I
got
got
some
one
really good.
more
Go
like
ahead.
cliche one, but just stick with me, people. Can I give a shout out? And I still think he's an amazing keynote. Someday I'm going to have a conversation with him, maybe on Teach Better Talk. Ooh. All right. Innovators Mindset, George Couros. He messaged me one time on Twitter and I totally fangirled out. And if he ever heard this, I wouldn't even be embarrassed about it because he knows how cool he is. Innovators Mindset is an amazing book by George Couros, and you should follow him on Twitter, by the way.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
What else you got? Anything else?
Well, sure. So now I'm going to go to like less cliche books, but ones that I've read that have really made a huge impact. I want to go to, we got to give a shout out to Matthew Joseph. He was recently on Teach
Yeah.
Better Talk. He wrote The Power of Us, which is all about collaboration, creativity, and like those communities. It's a really short read. It's a perfect summer book. You could read it in a day or two. And I just thought it was super well written. That would be a really easy one to pick up this summer. I also am a huge fan of Kim Bearden, and her Talk to Me book was really great, all focused on clear communication. She wrote Crash Course a few years ago, and this was just the perfect like second book from her, all about communicating with stakeholders and people around you. Really good like nuggets and pieces of strategies that you can take away from that one. And then can I do one more? It just came out.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, I'm not sure, but the tattooed skater principal, do you know who he is?
Yeah.
So if you could think of like the coolest looking dude,
Yeah.
and
Hummus is
then
like, yeah.
and then like put him in education and then like multiply it by 5, like that's who this dude is. And he just published his book. I think it's his first book, if I'm correct.
I
His
think so.
name's I'm gonna butcher his name. Oh man, Hamish Brewer. Is that his name?
That's how I say it. So hopefully we got it right.
I hope
And
so
if he,
too.
yeah, I hope it's right. Let's do this. Hopefully, if he listens to this episode or someone hears it and wants to forward it to him, he can come on the show and correct us if we're wrong.
Yes, that would be really good. Well, he just published Relentless, and it is just, I mean, even just the cover, it just looks like this. I can't describe it the way I was going to say it, but like he just looks like this awesome dude on the cover. And I just think that his book is a must read this summer. It just came out. So go get it. Relentless. You'll feel inspired. You'll be motivated, and it really gets into the grit of education.
Can I throw? Am I allowed to throw a couple out?
I don't know. I kind of felt like I was just doing a book ad, so I would really love for you to jump in here.
So I want to give a shout out to Tom Murray and Eric. I'm going to say his name, Scheniger. Learn and Transform. I think this is one of the classics. It's been out for a while, but it's still just a top-notch book, I think. So I definitely recommend that. And another one to add and welcome is Run Like a Pirate is a book that had a major impact on me. It is a super, and I mean this in the absolute best way possible, like a super easy read. Short chapters, just makes you feel like you're just flowing through the book, but you get a ton out of it. So
makes you feel like you're running
through the book, which
Jeff,
it's just awesome. Yes.
I just want you to know, I picture you like sleeping with this book. I mean, it's literally your favorite. I'm sure you like have it under your pillow at night.
I am a fan of the book. I also I want to give a shout out. The Edupreneur by Dr. Will is a great one, I think. And then I actually just got my copy of One Drop of Kindness.
Well, that's a really easy read.
Jeff Kubiak, yeah. So that's the not education so much as it is just an awesome kids book, a storybook for kids, and I got 2 little stickers with it and stuff too, which is great. And then there was another one I was trying to think of, and I can't. The Fire Within.
Ooh, yeah.
From our friend Mandy.
Yes.
So that one's a big one, and then you got to kind of also say Divergent EDU by Mandy as well. So I want to give those couple shout outs as well. There's a whole bunch of more. I mean, there's so many out there, but I think the biggest thing is that go search, go talk to people, reach out to your network and ask, hey, what are your favorite books? You know what I mean? Like, and just eat them up. So if you're like me, I've always got like 7 books going at once because I use them more as like a reference point, and I just go, I'm like, when I'm feeling something, I go to that specific type of book and I get what I can out of it.
Well, and Jeff, I know our listeners that have gotten to know me, and obviously you know this, but I'm not a big reader, but the audiobooks of these books are fantastic. So if you're on Audible or any platform that has that ability, it's a lot of those are available. So definitely go check those out.
Love it. And if you're like a 90s kid like me, and You want something that's completely not educational, but fun and completely profane and not suitable for work in any way, shape, or form. David Spade's new audiobook,
Oh my
A
God.
Polaroid Guy in a Snapchat World, is actually really entertaining. I mentioned that jokingly to you, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but it's like one of those things, if you just need like sort of a relief, it's literally him just like blabbering on about being old in a world that's no longer old as a single guy and stuff. It's just hilarious.
All right, I'm going to go to the other extreme. If you're also a chick and want to be empowered, go watch Rachel Hollis because she's got two
Yes.
awesome books that are just incredible. Girl, Wash Your Face and Girl, Stop Apologizing. Let's get into those books.
Probably much more beneficial to go there than to Spade. But if you're a David Spade guy, it works. But yes, Rachel Hollis, she's awesome. You don't have to be. You said if you're a woman, but like I don't care. She's still awesome.
Well, Kim, who we just had on this podcast that we're about to get to very soon, is a huge Rachel Hollis fan, so she's going to appreciate that shout out.
Well, I'm going to say that Rachel Hollis should be a huge Kim fan because this was a great episode. Kim Darche, she's an instructional coach, and she also works as an adjunct professor or adjunct. Adjunct professor, sorry, at a couple of different universities where she works with pre-service educators and teachers that are working towards a master. So a lot of cool viewpoints coming from her from two different sides of being in the classroom, with students, but also in the classroom with teachers and soon-to-be teachers. She's also just starting just taking on the role this year as the conference coordinator for IETC, which is taking place in November in Springfield, Illinois, which is November, the week after the Teach Better conference. So that's an awesome one. We talk about that quite a bit in the episode as well. But her passion and just her, I don't even know what else to call it other than just passion and maybe like a ball of funness is what I'm gonna call it. It was so much fun just to hang out with her and chat with her that we just kind of want to keep talking to her. So anything specific to you, Ray, that jumped out other than the fact that she just makes you feel super excited to go do whatever you're going to do today?
Yeah, I mean, every time you listen to a podcast, you sit back and whether you know it or not, you're looking for something. Maybe you're looking for a tidbit you can go implement in your classroom. Maybe you're looking for someone to verify that what you're doing is important and valuable and you're doing well. For Kim, if you are listening to this podcast, you better be ready for energy because it was oozing through our microphones today. I know we record virtually. We're kind of all over in terms of location wise when we do our Teach Better podcast recordings. But it filled the room I'm sitting in, and I'm literally sitting in a room alone with a microphone. So I just want to celebrate Kim, all her amazing nuggets of information, and then also the energy she brought because she is a very, very, very special person.
And with that, let's get into episode 77 with Kim Darche. All right, so we are here and we are talking with Kim Darche. And Kim, we are super excited to have you on. We've already been having a blast with you before we hit record, laughing. So this is just set up to be a great episode. You and Ray ran into each other briefly at ICE recently, and Ray was like, she's got to come on the podcast. And here you are. So we're super excited to have you on. And so before we go any further with this, I just want to know, how you feeling tonight?
Sure. It's great. Summer break started for me on Thursday, which was fantastic. So this is my first official Monday, not waking up to the alarm. And I always say I'm going to sleep in, but I was still up at 5 at the crack of dawn. Mm-hmm.
I had the same problem. I'm on my first day of summer break as well, and I still set my alarm for 6 a.m. because it's it never ends. It's always something.
Absolutely. And I remember really early in my marriage to my husband, we're like, you know what, on Saturday, it's going to be great. We're going to set our alarm so that we can actually hit it and go back to sleep. We thought we had discovered the secret to happiness. Didn't work whatsoever. We were up same time. Gosh, dang it.
I know. It's inevitable. If it's not the alarm, it's the dogs. It just happens.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that all of our listeners are able to learn all about you because with your just sparkling personality, I just know we're going to have so much fun during this podcast. But would you mind sharing with us how you respond when somebody asks you what you do?
So I really, I had just heard this about 3 weeks ago. I was at I'll teach at a couple universities. And so I was at like the orientation for the year or the institute. They always do like this reset. And this gentleman stood up and he said, you as an educator have to pour yourself into others so that they flourish. And it really struck a chord with me because I feel like I've always been looking for kind of that wording, because that's what I hope to do. I hope I could pour all of my learning or goofiness or joyfulness into others so that they become better. And hopefully it continues on for as long as it takes me.
That's great. Let's just end the podcast right now.
Yeah, I think you did really well. Good job, Kim.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So nice to see you all. Enjoy your summer. Bye.
You're like George Costanza, go out on top. That's it. I'm done. See you later. Have a good night.
Done.
No, that's
love
great.
It.
That's such. I love that. That's where you went with that, and that stuck with you, and that's what you're trying to do. I think that's such an important piece. Is trying to help them flourish. That's what you're trying to do. So that's great. That's awesome. So all right, great. So now I'm really excited for all your other answers. So this is a good start.
I'm so I should really like start to stink at the beginning of an episode and then just like
yeah, you didn't hustle us very well here. But I have confidence, Kim. I think you're gonna be okay.
I'm ready.
So let's talk. If you've listened to the podcast before, you know that we talk about failure in every episode. It's something that I claim to love, even though I don't like the failures when they happen, but I love looking back and figuring out what I can take from them, what I can learn from them, and go from there. So can you take us to a time in your life and your career where you've had a failure and kind of tell us what happened? Why was it a failure? How did you overcome that? And then what did you take away from that?
Absolutely. So I was a coach before coaching was cool. So way back when I taught in the Chicago public school system, I had written a grant for iPads. And I had won 100 and some iPads for the 3rd grade class. No idea what I was doing because this is way back in the day. And they had made me a part-time coach and a part-time computer teacher. And so I was half in the lab, half working with teachers 18 years ago, having no idea what I was doing. And I found myself being much more of a pusher than I wanted to be. So I run really quickly with my ideas, which is great in theory, except I really forgot to acknowledge the reality that came before that and the place everyone was at. So now as an instructional coach, when I go into a classroom, I really embrace where the teachers are and then take those very best parts of them and help them grow that. And so that took a long, long while to learn that. And I continually make those mistakes. One of the things I constantly tell myself, and I actually have it written on my board, I have it written all year long, I just erased it on Thursday, was when they left, what did they hear? Because it's so important that I make sure that they understand that I'm coming from a place of good, that I'm coming from a place of growth with them. And if they leave feeling any other way, I've not done the work that I've set out to do.
Hey, what's up? It's Jeff. Don't worry, we're going to get right back to the episode, but I really want to check out and make sure that you are connected with us on social media. Ray and I and the entire Teach Better team want to connect with you. We want to hear your stories. We want to be a part of your journey. We want to be there to support you in any way we can, and we want to learn and grow with you. So please connect with us. Everything we have is at Teach Better Team. And then, of course, make sure you connect with me at Jeff Gargas and Ray at Ray Hewart. Let's get back to the episode. So let's flip it. Let's flip it now. Let's talk about a successful moment. This can be something big or small, whatever. Just tell us what happened. Then what did you take away from that, from the success?
You got it. So this just happened 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
There was this woman in one of my graduate school courses, and she came up to me after class, and she's like, "Kim, I have to tell you something." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I've had my evaluation." I'm like, "God dang it! Did you use technology and it all failed? Like, are you gonna like drop the course?" But she has this admin who never gives excellence. He's one of those guys, like, I'm always going to give a C type of teacher. But he always gives proficient. And she's like, "I got an excellent." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so great." And she's like, "And it's because of you." I'm like, "Well, first of all, it's not, because I didn't teach the lesson." But she said she had grown so much in the coursework that she really felt that propelled her to take risks, to try something different, to really grow and push herself. And I thought that was really, really pretty awesome. And she's like not an outgoing student. She's really introverted. So I really loved it.
That's a huge success.
Yeah, it really, really was. And actually, some of your work is in one of our courses, believe it or not.
What do you mean?
It is about in our assessment courses. We actually link to some of the great work that your team does, and have people read about it and see if that inspires them to do assessment differently in their course.
No kidding. That's like the nicest compliment ever, Kim.
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
Really great. It's really great work what you do. So right away I latched onto it, and we have examples of it, and then they can choose to make their own grid method and go from there.
Wow.
That's so fantastic. Well, what I always have loved, Kim, about your approach is just this ability to latch onto people, build relationships, and just share so much energy. I mean, Jeff, don't you agree? Like, even through this episode,
Yes.
I feel like my energy is filling up. We're on our third recording of the night. As our listeners know, we record like anywhere from 1 episode to 2 or 3 on a Monday evening. And it's late. Like, some of you can get tired. You had a full day, even though I guess it's summer break. But gosh, this episode is already, I'm like moving in my chair. I'm like ready to go. And like, I feel like I want to go teach a class after this.
There you go.
Hey, Ray,
Yeah?
would you say that she's pouring into you so that you can flourish?
Oh, I totally would say that.
Boom, there you go.
Oh,
She's doing
man,
all
I
right.
gotta get it on a t-shirt or something. I just totally do.
You know what you need to do? You need to do a t-shirt and then a coffee mug and then a button and like a car bumper. We could like fill the world with that quote.
I'm there. Like I'm a button person. Like you just ask and I'm like, yep, I want the button. I'm all about it. Love it.
Jeff, we need to make sure that she blogs at teachbetter.com with that
Yeah,
quote
I think
too.
that's a given at this point.
Yeah, done.
You're the best.
Well, Kim, our question that I wanted to eventually get to, but I have too much excitement in me to like transition beautifully, so it's not going to happen.
All good.
But it has to do with being excited. You know, there are so many things going on in education right now, and there's a lot of avenues that teachers can choose that really fuels their fire. And you've talked about the importance of filling that for students, but how do you do that for yourself? What is exciting you about education and all that's going on that's really keeping you this motivated?
So my new passion project or project for the year is I was actually asked to be the conference coordinator for the Illinois Education and Technology Conference in Springfield, IETC. And that's been super new for me. Like I've never really taken a whole conference from like an idea. You know, they had a great history. They're in their 26th year. They've done great work. But I've been able to really put little bits of different things in the conference that I think is really going to spark some excitement for anyone who wants to come. It happens in November in Springfield, and it's at the Crown Plaza. So for all you Illinois folks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And did you all know, you've all been to Springfield, right?
I have. I live real close to there, but Jeff lives, all the way in, who knows, Ohio.
State that ends and begins and ends in vowels, whatever.
Exactly. It's very confusing. But when is it? November? Do you guys have dates yet?
Mm-hmm. November 14th and 15th.
Fabulous. It's right after the Teach Better conference. They could go to one and then hop to the other.
Think it's the best. But for all your listeners who don't know anything about Springfield, Illinois, do you know they have drive-through liquor stores?
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah,
seriously?
They do. I was down there and I'm like, what's that? And they're like, you just ride through and you say, oh, I would like a lovely bottle of rosé. And they hand it to you right through the window.
You guys don't have those in Illinois?
Yeah, they're in Springfield. They're only in Springfield.
I know, but like we have those in Ohio all over the place.
No way.
Yeah, there's like 5 in my hometown. They're all over the place.
Jeff, maybe that says something about you.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you've ever been to Warren, Ohio, you'd know. But yeah, like those are all over. But yeah, I just love that you get excited about it. I'm like, yeah.
I just think that's like hot diggity.
It is. It still is a pretty cool thing. I'm not gonna lie.
There are so many Illinois teachers right now that are listening that are on their way to Springfield right now.
They're like summer break road trip. There we go.
Hey, make sure you drive through and pick me up, y'all. I'm in Illinois too. I'll meet you there.
There you go.
Kim, can we give a shout out? Can you give us the website for the conference? Is registration open yet?
Registration is open tonight, actually.
Tonight?
No, tonight. Well, tonight we're announcing the keynotes as we speak. on Illinois Ed Chat. So I've scheduled all my tweets for Illinois Ed Chat to announce the keynote so that I can record with you. Because lo and behold, I'm a teacher and I double booked myself. Shocker.
So this podcast is going to come out after that announcement. So can you tell us? We promise not to tell anybody until the episode comes out.
You got
keynoting?
So we have the incredible Micah Shippey.
Nice.
He's from the ed tech team, and he really works in the realm of VR and AR and preparing our students for this kind of really incredible 21st century, which is a horrible term, but like 21st century world that they're going to be moving into in the workforce. Then we have Julie Smith. I don't know if you all know Julie Smith. She is the queen of the media. She teaches university courses in St. Louis, and she really focuses on fake news and how to take what you're being presented and really filter it to make so it makes sense for you. She's awesome and super funny. Joy Kerr.
Love Joy.
Of the incredible Shift This movement. And then Michael Matera, who is all about gamification. So I'm pumped. But it was a lot of pressure choosing keynotes. And I've already told them if they don't do well, I'm going to feel like it's all my fault. So there's a ton of pressure on them right now.
I think you're pretty safe with all of them.
I know I am. I'm really, I cannot wait for it to happen in November. So so that's really exciting me. And quite frankly, I work at a middle school. And I work with some of the hardest working teachers I've ever come across in my whole educational life. So they excite me and I miss them already. So, I get all gushy with that.
I love it. I think who you work with makes a huge difference. And so I talk to teachers constantly who don't feel connected to their colleagues. And I'm like, okay, so who are you connected with virtually to feel inspired? But when you're fortunate enough to work in a school building or a community that has that support, it's so different.
I couldn't imagine. I honestly couldn't imagine not being happy to go to work.
Kim, I want to work with you.
Okay, I want to work with you too, Ray.
Can we make that happen?
We definitely can.
Jeff, you're okay to work with too, by the way.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I was waiting for something.
Oh, Jeff, you're still here.
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. I know.
We're back to focusing on the drive-through liquor stores. We're very Oh my goodness. Well, Kim, I want to keep on this track of really building this positivity into people's day-to-day life. I mean, whether they're attending an amazing conference or they're working with colleagues that they just adore, I want our teachers, whether they be, brand new teachers in the field, maybe their first or, second or third year in the field, or maybe they're veteran teachers or consider themselves veteran teachers and have been working in the same spot for years. I would love to rejuvenate this amazing positive spirit within them. So what advice do those educators need to be on this track of a progressive student-focused mission?
So it truly is, and this is the only advice I could give that makes sense, is be prepared to change. You are going to, whether you're in year one, they're going to tell you something on day one, and then it's going to just shift and change a little bit. And you have to be okay with that change in some way, shape, or form. Because one of the frustrating parts, or the parts that I just feel so bad when my teachers struggle with it, is everyone gets so angry about the change. Really, they're like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but it's going to happen. We all know that change is going to happen in some way, shape, or form. So you take it and you have to adapt or make it fit who you are, or be okay with just rolling with that change. That's not really uplifting. That's kind of like...
No, but that's crucial. I love it. I was just sitting over here just smiling and nodding my head, because that is such crucial advice, because the world changes really fast.
Yeah.
And so what we do has to change as well. And yeah, you can fight it. And I mean, obviously, if you truly believe it's wrong, you can try to fight it. But
absolutely,
I think most importantly, you have to have that open mind and go, okay, is it really bad, or do I just not like it because it's uncomfortable, because it's new, because it's not what I'm used to? So be open for and be prepared for that change, and to try and find, okay, can this make sense for me? Does this actually work? If I go into this with the right mindset, will I actually make this a good thing?
And that goes back to like one of my favorite questions. So I'm huge on questioning and questioning techniques and all that good stuff. And my favorite question to ask people who are interviewing for jobs in our district, or especially admin who are interviewing for jobs in our district, is how do you challenge your beliefs? So like my belief could be like, I'm going to put my right shoe on every day, and it's the right way to do it. It's the right way to do it. But I don't know if it's the right way of doing it until I put my left shoe on first. And then if I put my left shoe on and it's a failure, then I can go back to my right shoe. But I always have to find ways to say, I'm always doing it this way. How am I going to challenge that belief and do it differently? So I know the way I firmly believe is the right way.
Okay, how amazing was that?
Yeah. Well, and what a simplified way to simplify it down to like to change your shoes, and you can put that into any aspect of your life. I mean, just yes, I love it. It's fantastic.
Great.
All right. So
I'm sweating now because we're almost at the end.
So you're doing pretty okay so far, Kim. This is where it gets intense.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to do the next 6 questions.
Great.
And your goal that you're tasked with here is to answer each in 15 seconds or less.
Oh my God, I'm going to be so good. Here we go.
She's been practicing these all day.
Ready.
All day. I walk around my house. I've got it. Here we go.
What is one ed tech tool you cannot live without?
Audible, because I listen to books on tape all the time.
What book are you reading or listening to right now?
I'm currently listening to Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. That's my nonfiction. And my fiction is Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet by Jamie Ford.
And who do you need to follow on Twitter today?
One of my most popular, most lovable, wonderful friends in the world, Lindsay Zilli at iCoachLindsay.
And what is the best YouTube channel or website for educators?
Okay, this one for educators, but do not show it to your kids. And if you do, I never told you to do it. It's called Post Secrets, and it's put out by the Suicide Prevention Group. And you put your secret on a postcard and you mail it into them. And their idea is that if you kind of get your secret out in the world, you won't have this kind of heaviness inside you. Super love that, but don't show it to your kids because some are very inappropriate. Just saying. YouTube channel is Soul Pancake, Kid President, all that good stuff, but it goes way beyond Kid President, so you have to spend some time around that.
All right, and give us a daily, weekly, or monthly routine every teacher should get into.
Daily. Meditate for 10 minutes every day. Just sit in quiet and try not to think of anything. Terrible to do, terribly hard to do, but best thing you'll be able to do for yourself. Weekly, read at least 3 times a week, and monthly, reconnect with an educator of your past. So if you met someone at a conference like I did Ray, coming back around right today. So you find someone like, oh, like I haven't like connected with this person in a while. Come back once a month to one of those educators and keep those connections rolling.
And what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Have tea with everyone.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, wait, elaborate on that. I love that.
So if like anyone wants to talk to you, you just say yes. Like it doesn't matter if you think that they maybe are not someone you would connect with, or you're like, oh no, they want to talk to me. You have tea with everyone. And you just open yourself up to those possibilities of where that connection can lead.
Yep. I do it with cups of coffee. Always have.
I've never had a cup of coffee ever.
Never had a cup of coffee, just tea, huh?
Ever.
Can we talk about that Goodwill Hunting quote where it's like, yeah, we should get a cup of coffee, and then the like Goodwill Hunting responds, well, yeah, we should just sit and eat a lot of caramel. And they're like, what? And it's like, well, it's all arbitrary, right?
Absolutely. But I've never liked the smell, so I've never had a cup. I've had one sip, and that just went down a bad path of me being way too excited. So there you go.
I thought we were going to be great friends, and now I'm concerned that I can't have fun.
No, it's okay. I have hot chocolate, and I pretend that it's coffee.
You could drink tea. It's just as good. Just as fun.
And you know what, Ray? We're going to go through the drive-through liquor store.
Yeah. It'll be
it's not coffee or tea there.
It'll be a lovely glass of wine that we will have.
This podcast used to be PG, and we've broken that.
We have not broken that. There has been no curse words.
No, I've been
really
still
good. We'd still be good.
Yes,
Kim, I am so thrilled that we recorded tonight. I I feel like I could go run a marathon after talking to you. I just love your dedication to sharing positivity and just being the incredible person that you are. It seems like it comes so naturally. So I so appreciate that about you. Thank you for bringing that to Teach Better Talk, but really to me, I'm like so thankful. But I want to make sure our listeners can connect with you not just now and after re-listening to this podcast 12 times, but also later. So would you mind sharing all of the ways that they can stay connected?
Absolutely. So the best way to get a hold of me is at Kim Darche on Twitter. And just again, I want to say, whoever has K Darche as their Twitter handle and they are not tweeting, I have not forgotten about you. I'm still salty because everything in my life is K Darche except my gosh dang Twitter handle, which is Kim Darche. Just saying. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. I've tried to feel out Instagram. It really hasn't spoken to me in the way that I want to, but I get instant messages on Twitter every day. I get emails. And again, the best way to get a hold of me via email is kdarche@gmail. I'm happy to share anything that I could possibly give anyone to help them grow or learn or try something different.
Love it. And you can find all the links, all the resources and everything we mentioned in this episode over at teachbetter.com, as well as the important links so you can get connected with Kim outside of this and keep having a conversation. So head over to teachbetter.com for the show notes and all of that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And if you can give us a rating and review, we'd really appreciate that as well. And let's take it one step further. Think of just 3 of your colleagues who need to hear these amazing stories and share this podcast with them. Kim, this has been absolute pleasure. Excitement. We've just been like on a high the whole episode. We had fun when we started, and it just hasn't stopped.
I love it. So I've had a great time.
I'm glad you had a great time. This is awesome. So really appreciate you coming on, taking some time out of your day, and just hanging out with us. Just thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you both for all the good work that you do. I know scheduling this time every Monday is not easy, and to really keep on that routine. So thank you both for the service you're giving so many educators. And you have that incredible free PD coming up all summer. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Sure.
So fun.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, Kim. What do you want to say?
I mean, that is such a gift that you're giving. People could just be sitting there and they're like, oh, look, I get better at this. Boom.
Yeah,
done.
we actually did our first one this morning. Today is actually Monday, what's today, the 3rd? Mm-hmm. And we did the first one this morning. Ray did it on the grid method and it went fantastic. We were just amazed by how many educators were on there, and what all was for a lot of them their first day, like weekday, that they didn't have to be in the schools anymore. And here they are, bright and early in the morning, jumping on Facebook, asking questions, engaging with each other, mm-hmm. and trying to be better already. And it was just that's such a cool thing. It's why we do what we do.
They will take that learning and they'll pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. So who you're reaching are not just those people that were on Facebook today, but it's going to go far beyond that. So thank you both for everything that you do.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Kim. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. And until next time, let's get out there and let's teach better.